Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Newman Enterprises is rocked by Kane's defamation lawsuit. Updates and spoilers for The Young and the Restless suggest that Kane Ashby, played by Billy Flynn, is considering filing a defamation lawsuit against Newman Enterprises due to the publication of their article about Colin Atkinson, played by Tristan Rogers. It seems the entire piece was based on a letter incriminating Colin, implying he conned Madame de Leone using the alias Lord Jeremy Egerton, and found by Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. The inheritance from Colin to Kane were used to build Kane's Arabesque company. If this is the case, Kane's wealth has been constructed on a foundation of lies because the resources that financed his Arabesque business were the very money and estate Colin received from de Leone. It has been pointed out numerous times that Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, and Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, did not check their sources and simply followed Victor's orders. In the episode that aired on Friday, October 10th, shortly after the article was released by Newman Media, Kane barged into the Newman Media offices and dropped the lawsuit revelation. Victor's claims about Colin have not been confirmed, and it is unknown whether Kane was aware of Colin's actions, assuming Colin's deception took place at all. Kane and Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, have both made it abundantly clear that Colin underwent a radical transformation just prior to his death because he wanted to make amends for his bad behavior. Colin's last con, if that is what this was, doesn't seem far-fetched for the scoundrel. Having said that, Colin's final con appears to have been plausible, and the whole plan sounds like something he would do. It echoes the late thief. However, even if it is even partially true, the absence of credible sources to support Newman Media raises the question: could Kane file a lawsuit to ultimately devastate both Newman Media and Newman Enterprises? Kane appears to have even greater wealth than Victor, enabling him to potentially drag Victor and his business through the legal system until his empire collapses. Victor may be wealthy, but Kane appears to have even greater wealth. Colin may have truly been a con man most of his life, but when it came close to the time he was to meet his maker, there had been a drastic change. Could Colin Atkinson's indictment in Victor's letter have been fabricated? One thing we need to ask ourselves right now is whether the letter Victor discovered is genuine or whether it might have been forged, possibly by Victor. Given the high stakes and high risk his companies face, as well as the fact that, if Kane is a con, Victor is attempting to outcon a con, that would not be beneath Victor to do. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that the Newmans are worried about their legacy, largely due to the AI software that Kane possesses. However, they might not have had to deal with the more pressing issue of Kane's potential introduction of a lawsuit that has the potential to destroy their wealth if Victor had kept to his own business. Catch up on everything that is going on right now with Y&R. The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates can be found here frequently. The character, hardball, and decision debut of Mama Bear. Spoilers for Tuesday, October 14's episode of The Young and the Restless reveal significant drama in Genoa City. While someone plays hardball, a mother makes a difficult decision, and a character debuts on the canvas. What can we anticipate for the show on Tuesday? Time to find out. Be sure to check out the spoilers for this week's Y&R here. The decision of Jill Abbott. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th, Jill Abbott, played by Jessica Walton, will make a significant decision regarding her relationship with Billy Abbott, played by Jason Thompson. Would she be willing to pay for Abbott Communications? After all, Courtney Hope's Sally Spectra did seek assistance from Billy's mother. Will she, however, decline the offer given Billy's numerous failures and recent rash decisions? Fans will have to turn in to find out. Hardball by Kyle Abbott. Speaking of spoiled Abbott men, Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, appears to be going to play hardball. He is eager to return to Claire Newman, Haley Erin, and travel to Los Angeles to prove his love for her. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, Los Angeles wedding drama, a horror show, and Kane and Phyllis fireworks. All things considered, it's a bad idea, which is why Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, turned down his request for Claire's Los Angeles address. Having said that, Kyle doesn't like to hear the word no, so it sounds like he'll be brutal in order to get the information. The debut of Sienna Bacall. Finally, The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday reveal that actress Tamara Braun will make her much-anticipated Y&R debut as Sienna Bacall, an old friend of Holden Novak's, Nathan Owens. Holden and Claire are shown enjoying Vespers at an LA bar in the CBS soaps preview, as Sienna approaches them. Sienna not only knows Holden, but she also knows Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, so it will be interesting to see how the story of the character plays out on canvas. Do you think Sienna is a con artist or a good person? Is it possible that Tucker McCall, whose last role was played by Trevor St. John? The future will tell. What aspect of the show's plot do you look forward to the most on Tuesday? Comment down below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out SOS Often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. Newman Enterprises is rocked by Kane's defamation lawsuit. How a single article in Genoa City set off a corporate war, a family feud, and a fight for legacy. Everyone in Genoa City is gasping for air as the most recent storm surrounding Newman Enterprises erupts. The Young and the Restless has never been devoid of scandal. The formidable empire, which is already dealing with crises brought on by internal betrayals and AI controversy, is about to face an unanticipated threat, a defamation lawsuit brought by Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. After years of deceit and heartbreak, Kane's name has become synonymous with redemption and rebirth, a man who rebuilt his life and reputation. However, after Newman Media, directed by Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, published a damning expose that implicated his late father, Colin Atkinson, Tristan Rogers, in a fraudulent inheritance scheme involving the late Madame de Leone, his family legacy as well as his business, Arabesque, have come under fire. At the heart of the expose is a mysterious letter that Victor claims to have uncovered, one allegedly written by de Leone herself, revealing that Colin had conned her using the alias Lord Jeremy Edgerton. The piece claims that Kane's inheritance from Colin was tainted and the result of deceit and theft. As a result, it called into question Kane's wealth and the legitimacy of his flourishing empire. That was the final straw for Kane. The Australian businessman's fury was barely contained as he stormed into the Newman Media headquarters on the episode that aired on Friday, October 10th. Kane broke the news at once to fans and employees. He was filing a defamation lawsuit against Newman Enterprises and Newman Media. The lawsuit poses a threat to the entire Newman dynasty and may reveal secrets that no one is prepared to face. The legacy that established an empire, Kane's fortune, much of which traces back to his father's estate, has always been a touchy subject. His pride and joy, the Arabesque business, was at least partially supported by the assets he received from Colin. For years, Kane has worked tirelessly to transform those tainted funds into something good, building a corporation rooted in innovation, technology, and ethics. However, Newman Media's report paints a far darker picture. If Victor's story holds weight, Kane's entire business may have been founded on stolen wealth. The article not only challenges his professional integrity but also strikes at the heart of his personal redemption arc. This attack has the potential to undo everything that a man who spent years trying to escape his father's shadow has built. The fact that neither Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, nor Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, the two faces behind Newman Media's operations, verified the letter's authenticity prior to publishing it, adds to the situation's murkiness. They acted under direct orders from Victor, who was determined to expose the truth about Colin Atkinson, according to Insider Dialogue. However, their haste to publish could now cost the Newman family millions, if not billions of dollars without concrete evidence. The calculated wager of Victor Newman has always been open to controversy and manipulation. The mustache has ruled Genoa City's business community for decades with an iron fist, frequently blurring the lines between retribution and justice. In light of the most recent scandal, his motives are at best questionable. Was Victor truly seeking justice for Madame de Leone, or was this just another calculated power move to cripple a rival who's become increasingly threatening to Newman Enterprises? Ever since Kane's Arabesque company emerged as a leader in artificial intelligence, rumors have circulated that Victor feels threatened. Kane's AI technology has been called revolutionary and has the potential to change industries and, if used for military purposes, even destabilize established businesses like Newman Enterprises. As a result, the exposé's timing seems suspiciously convenient. As Arabesque prepared to unveil a groundbreaking AI partnership, Newman Media released their scathing report, suggesting that the company's financial foundation was rooted in fraud. Victor's truth crusade may have been a deliberate attempt to undermine Kane's growing power, according to many characters and viewers. The lawsuit that could bring down a dynasty. Not only is Kane suing for defamation out of vengeance, but also out of principle. He asserts that Newman Enterprises deliberately published false information, harming his reputation, Arabesque stock, and investor confidence. Kane stated, "They wanted to humiliate me," in his press statement. "They wanted to bury my father again in the court of public opinion, but this time, they've gone too far. I will not allow lies to define who I am or what I've built." Legal experts within the Y&R universe speculate that if Kane can prove malice, meaning that Newman Media acted recklessly, without verifying the authenticity of their claims, the damages could be astronomical. Newman Enterprises might not just face financial penalties, its corporate image could be shattered beyond repair. Even Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, who's no stranger to corporate warfare, warned Victor during a tense phone call that he may have picked the wrong opponent. "Victor, Kane has the resources to bleed you dry in court. And this time, money and intimidation won't save you." The statement hit home because it's true. Kane's company has grown exponentially, thanks to global partnerships and technological advances. Arabesque's valuation now rivals Newman Enterprises, giving Kane the leverage to wage a prolonged legal battle without flinching. The mystery of Colin Atkinson's final days. However, beneath the legal fireworks is a question that is even more haunting. Was Colin Atkinson really responsible for the scam that Victor exposed, or has someone fabricated evidence to discredit Kane? It was believed that Colin had undergone a significant transformation prior to his passing. Colin appeared to be remorseful and determined to make amends for a lifetime of deceit, according to Jill Abbott, who knew him better than anyone else. In his final weeks, he even apologized to Kane for the chaos he had caused. If that is the case, then why on a whim would Colin set up yet another elaborate scam against a wealthy widow? And why would Victor, out of the blue, stumble upon what appears to be proof of this alleged scheme? The possibility that the incriminating letter Victor discovered was fake is quickly becoming a rumor. Some fans think it could even be a setup, possibly arranged by Victor himself or by one of his many foes who wants to change the outcome. The concept isn't too far-fetched. Victor has a long history of fabricating documents, planting evidence, and orchestrating elaborate deceptions to protect his empire. If this letter turns out to be fake, the backlash could destroy him. The moral chess game of Genoa City. In true Young and the Restless fashion, this lawsuit represents far more than a simple legal dispute. Truth, faithfulness, and legacy are the pieces in this moral chess game. For Kane, it's about reclaiming his name and protecting the company he built from the ground up. For Victor, it's about maintaining dominance over Genoa City's business elite. The repercussions could forever alter alliances for everyone caught in the middle: Adam, Chelsea, Jill, Nikki, and even Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. Adam may be at a crossroads, torn between his duty to his father and his own morals. If the lawsuit escalates, he could become the key witness or the scapegoat. Chelsea is also in a perilous position. She authorized the publication as Newman Media's editor-in-chief, relying on Victor's word. If Kane's lawyers can prove negligence, she could face personal liability. Meanwhile, Jill's return to Genoa City couldn't have come at a more explosive time. She has already confronted Victor once, warning him not to drag Colin's name through the mud. "You of all people should understand what it's like to have your past haunt your children," she said in a recent episode. "You want to bury Colin? Fine, but don't you dare bury my son with him." Forgiveness and legacy. Her words may have fallen on deaf ears, but they echo the emotional heart of this storyline: legacy. Both Victor and Kane are men defined by the legacies of their fathers, one seeking to preserve his, the other trying to escape his. Their collision has now been forced on them by fate. Could Kane outcon the con? In an ironic twist, the lawsuit might end up revealing that the so-called con man's son is more cunning than Victor ever imagined. Kane's team of attorneys is rumored to be gathering evidence not only to prove defamation but also to expose a pattern of manipulation by Newman Enterprises. If Kane can prove that Victor intentionally planted or altered evidence to damage his company, it could lead to criminal charges, something even the mighty Victor Newman may not be able to brush off. Kane's most recent alliances may also be crucial. A shift in Genoa City's strategic power has been hinted at by his quiet but growing partnership with Jack Abbott, portrayed by Peter Bergman, and Audra Charles, portrayed by Zuleika Silva. If the Abbotts and Kane align against Victor, the Newmans could find themselves surrounded. Victor might have wealth, but Kane now has something even more dangerous: momentum. The AI connection, power, paranoia, and control. Kane's project for artificial intelligence adds another layer of mystery to this story. Arabesque software, rumored to be capable of predicting market trends and even human behavior, has already caught the attention of global investors and, reportedly, the FBI. With the hope that the AI technology will ensure Newman Enterprises' dominance for decades to come, Victor has been clamoring to acquire it. Some speculate that the defamation story was not about Colin at all, but rather a veiled attempt to discredit Kane and weaken his position so Victor could acquire the technology by force or coercion. If that's the case, then the lawsuit is only the beginning. It's not just about family or money anymore, it's about control over the future itself. The aftermath and what's next. As the legal drama unfolds, Genoa City is bracing for impact. Thanks to public support and growing skepticism toward Newman Media, Arabesque stock prices have fluctuated but remain surprisingly resilient. In contrast, the board members of Newman Enterprises are said to be furious and demanding responses from Victor and his circle of friends. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, have expressed concern about the toll this war could take on their family. In the episode that aired on Monday, Nick told Sharon, "Dad's playing with fire. And this time, he's up against someone who doesn't hesitate to respond." For Kane, the emotional stakes are just as high. He is confident in his legal standing, but the personal cost of reopening his father's past is challenging. His scenes with Jill have been especially powerful, raw, vulnerable, and filled with questions about